I'm often speaking about how much we have to be grateful for. I mean, really, so much. I was just speaking to someone who recently returned from Afghanistan, and she was telling me about just the physical conditions there, not to mention the mental and psychological, but just the quality of air and the lack of freedom, the danger. And then I look at, what we have here, and what a precious privilege it is. So much to be grateful for. And how usually, rather than being aware of that, the mind, out of its habit, is searching for what's wrong and how to correct what's wrong. Obviously, that's one aspect of the survival of the organism, seeing what's wrong, fixing what's wrong so that one can be fed, or one can be clothed, or one can be housed. So I'm not saying it like there's something wrong with that, except that at this point where you are, where you find the life form in you, there's much more to be grateful for than is usually acknowledged. And even if it's acknowledged, it's sort of like brushed aside, or like, what is it that like, I'm not really that lucky, because you don't want to tempt the gods to send down some bad luck. Or, you have this guilt that you're so lucky, because obviously it's not about deservability. You know that. And so you either feel guilty, or you're not so lucky, or the mind just succumbs to its habit of what's wrong and how to fix it. And all the time, this precious lifetime, which could end in an instant, the next instant, and will certainly end sooner than one is ready for it to end. Here it is, with these circumstances, just as they are. What divine good luck. I realized, as I have said this many times, someone who was speaking to me relayed it back, and they were relaying it back as they should be grateful. Just as I used to always say, just be still, until enough people gave me the feedback that what they were hearing was, you should be still. So you should be grateful, you should be still, you should wake up. So it's not that, I'm not speaking of that kind of stillness or that kind of gratitude. It's not about you should be grateful, it's just that if you tell the truth, in this moment, there is more to be grateful for than there is to fix. Just in this moment. And if you ignore that truth, or you trivialize that truth, or you feel guilty that that's true, then this clarity of mind that allows real investigation is missing. This openness of mind that's naturally present in gratitude. In an instant of, I'm just grateful to be here. Just grateful to be not flat on my back. Just grateful to have been fed today. Just grateful to not be dead today. Just that gratitude, that's this opening where investigation, true inquiry, can occur. If you try to impose this self-investigation or self-inquiry on top of a kind of churning, how do I make it better? How do I keep it? How do I keep it away? How do I live forever? How do I get healthier? How do I get richer? How do I keep my house? All of that, then there's no possibility of inquiry. Then this precious privilege is wasted. Because everyone in this room is in a position that perhaps your ancestors never had. They never had access to. And you have access to the deepest level of inquiry into who it is you really are, or what it is you really want, finally want, or what it is that is truly, really true and real now, in this moment. So for our time here this afternoon, it's perfect for this season too. It's interesting that seasonally, it's at the end of the year that we have our gratitude feast, our Thanksgiving. I mean, I'm sure it has to do with harvest, but also it's placement at the end, before the winter, before the darkness. Just like at the end of a life, the last week of a life, or the last day of a life, or the last hour, there's usually this moment of just stopping, looking for what could be better, and just experiencing the gratitude that one lived. The gratitude that one has this moment to inquire into who one really is. What is it that lives and dies? Who are you? So if you aren't experiencing gratitude, I'm not asking you to impose gratitude onto your state of mind, but I am asking that you just tell the truth about what it is you have to be grateful for. To be courageous enough to tell the truth about that. Because there's a kind of misery in company, and you sort of have to stand up by yourself to acknowledge the gratitude to be, the gratitude to see, the gratitude that somehow you have this astounding leisure in your life, and the desire to know the truth, the desire to be free, that those are together, that those have come together in a lifetime. It's a miracle. And that you have acknowledged that desire, and that you have chosen to be here together on an afternoon where you could be doing a million different things. You have that much leisure. You have that many choices. But you have chosen to be here with your like-minded people who also have a desire to be free, the desire to know the truth, and the desire to serve that truth and to serve freedom, so that one's privilege of life can be offered rather than held, protected, or denied, covered, can be offered to life itself. You can call it evolution, you can call it spiritual awakening. You don't have to name it at all. But to experience it, and to let that experience have the entirety of your life, past, present, and future. And from that clarity, then to ask the question, then what a conversation is possible, internally, externally, in this room, with your children, with your friends, with your enemies. What a conversation is possible.
I'm so grateful to you.
Oh, what for?
You're the first person that ever spoke the truth to me about 9 years ago.
9 years ago?
In a video 9 years ago.
Yes, good enough.
And it's been really helpful, necessary for me this year in particular. I've had Lyme's disease for over a year, and the body's been uncomfortable, the mind's been worried a lot at times, and yet just recently, like it feels like maybe within the last week even, the mind recognized that in order to feel peace, it had to be comfortable with the worst case scenario. Which would be, not getting over the Lyme's disease. My work is physical, so not being able to do my work, not being able to support myself, live on my own. If you have Lyme's disease and you have a child, apparently it's passed on, so maybe not feeling good about having kids, or, worst case, if the body becomes debilitated, not feeling attractive to a partner, it was like everything could leave, everything that this mind body wanted to experience could leave. And
what an opportunity.
It really was. And I was surprised that when when the mind just allowed itself to experience that in a moment, there was this incredible force of love that was underneath all the things I thought I wanted. And it's just awesome. It's kind of funny that I never noticed it before, but that's like who we really are. This is all you've been saying for 9 years, and I feel like I'm hearing it more than I ever have been, and I'm so happy. I'm so grateful. And
it's always heard more. It's endlessly more.
It's true. Each year I come, I hear more, but this year's the most I've heard.
Well, you brought to it, it wasn't abstract at all, because you actually had to face things that most, or many young women don't have to face, or deny that they have to face it. So, what a gift this Lyme's disease has been.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
Yeah, I certainly hope it is cured, and I hope the best for the body, but sooner or later, everything that we want to experience, because wanting to experience it doesn't take care of it. You want to experience children, and then you have children, so then you want to experience your kids grown up. And on and on and on. We are experience junkies, and so that's it's kind of hitting the bottom. It's recognizing, I won't get my experience that's inbred in the cells, and you faced it, because look at you. This is what look at this face. Look at this face. This is. And you're a beautiful young woman, but there's this beauty that's coming out that is from having met hell, because it's hell. It's different from death in a way. It's meeting not death, but the living hell, living in hell. And you met it.
Thanks to you.
Oh, I'm happy I could assist. I couldn't do it for you. You had to do it.
Lyme's disease helped.
Lyme's disease, any disease, the human condition is a help. The situation is a help. the thought arising, the emotion suppressed, all of it. It's all the disease. Lyme's disease has a big name, and we know about it, and it's terrifying.
Has been.
Has been. I love it when the student corrects the teacher. That's the best, isn't it? That's the best. That's the best. That's just right.
I wasn't correcting you, I was just sharing
Oh,
my
well, I take it as a correction. Because it's correct. Because it is correct. You were correcting me, not as a... But you were telling me your experience has been, not is. Beautiful.
So last night I was lying in bed and I was feeling this love so strongly, like it was keeping me up for a while. And I recognized there was one other want, and that was to express this love. And I thought, well, if the body's debilitated and I'm in bed in a couple of years, for maybe the rest of this incarnation, will there be an opportunity to do that? And then it was like it was teaching me. It said, well, even if you're in bed, you can still send this love to people, just meditate and send it out. And so it's worst case, we're still this love and we can always express it,
That's right. Amen. That's the truth.
And that's where peace is.
That's right. Right where you are. Now, will you look out at them and express some of this love? Just by being who you are. You don't even have to send it out, although prayers, of course, beautiful, and the intention of it traveling throughout the cosmos is beautiful. But just being here, just being willing to give your face to the camera and to other people, and what comes from your face and the back of your eyes, and the particular experience of this form of love.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you so much. Really. This is a life well used already, whatever may come. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hearing. Thank you for investigating for yourself. Not just accepting, but investigating for yourself.
Thank you for sharing the truth.
So you might be aware if you're keeping anything out right now. Just check. And if you are, just be aware of any energy that's involved in keeping out. And just let it go, because we keep out love as much as we keep out fear and despair and desire and anger, ignorance. We keep out love. We say, no, it's too big. And it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time, becomes a practice, becomes a religion of keeping out love. Called something else, of course, because it has to be in disguise. It's called me and my problems. Me and what I didn't get. Me and how it should be different. Me and what they should have done. Me and the body I should have gotten. The life I should have gotten. The parents I should have gotten. On and on and on. That's the war. It takes a lot of effort to war. But wars go on for generations, of course, Children grow up and start wars just because they're trained to do that. I remember in some newscast in Bosnia, a newsman was interviewing a child, and the child was already saying the liturgy of, we'll remember this, we'll get them back. This was like a 7-year-old child. So it's up to you to stop the war. I know a lot of people have trouble with the word love because it's so messy and possibly sentimental, possibly, most definitely, out of control. And yet it's what we crave. So there's this love-hate relationship with the idea of love, most likely coming from our experiences as babies or infants, where we just helplessly loved, and this love was put out to this big person, mother or father, brother or sister, and the person was not trustworthy or reliable. And so the person took actions that then we confused with love, not being trustworthy. People are definitely not trustworthy. Everybody in this room understands that. Before we go any further. Because people, in general, usually are protecting their stories of who they think they are. So this is right away not trustworthy regarding your story of who you think you are, unless you can give them endlessly what it is they want, and more, and unexpectedly, and unconditionally. But since mostly people are in their stories of who they are, they can only give a certain amount until they start wondering, well, when do I get mine? And so this sets up this whole continuation of the distrust of love, because love has been identified as a person. But love is not a person. Love is not a person. Love is your universal, individual, and collective soul. Love is God. Love is truth. Love is beauty. Love is peace. Love is self. And so to know yourself, to surrender to truth, is to surrender to love. Then people, of course, I've heard, yes, but how? I want to, but how? I feel this resistance. What do? I want to surrender. And that's wonderful. That's essential. That's why you're in this room. You want to surrender. You have surrendered, and you want to surrender more. Wonderful. Excellent. The only barrier to your surrender, as far as I can see it, is not seeing what underlying story you are telling yourself about the danger of surrender, about the necessity to not surrender everything to love. And to the degree that you hold back your everythingness from love is the degree that you suffer. The degree that you try to maintain this imagery or this sensation or this mental storyline about who it is you are and what it is you will get. Well, enough love, of course, but there are other things you need too, right? So you want to get enough of that, enough of this, and enough of that, enough of something else, until you realize, forget it. I want truth, which is love. I want God, totally, which is love. I want self, still love. Love is the constant in all of that. Truth and God and self are aspects of love. Love is not an aspect of truth. It's so usual and so tragic that to avoid a broken heart, people live in a state of brokenheartedness. And in the willingness to have the heart be broken 1,000,000, 1,000,000,000,000, 1,000,000,000 times, there is living in love. It's once we think we have figured it out, I got it, I'm not going to let my heart get broken again. There's the ignorance. That's ignorance. And the clinging to that, after the proof over and over and over and over that the very not allowing your heart to be broken is the broken heart. Being haunted by the lack of. Just to let the whole world break your heart. Every instant of the remaining instance of your life. This is a life lived as servant to love. It doesn't mean that you stay in abusive relationships, doesn't mean that you don't leave relationships. It doesn't mean anything like that. It doesn't mean anything. It means only being true to that which is always true to you, and that is love. All the rest is your story. All the rest. So then the invitation is to be willing to give up your ignorance. But since we have become very attached to our ignorance as intelligence, there's a great clinging to it. And that then is the necessity for investigation, for really telling the truth. That's all, just telling the truth. Because the story gets implanted so deeply and it seems so real that if it's never investigated, the whole life is lived on that assumption, the reality of that protection of your soul, protection of your love, protection of your heart. That is the denial of your heart, your soul, your love, of the self-expression of love. Denying yourself love. Often in cultures where there have been obvious slaves and masters, the slaves will take on the characteristics of the masters. The dress, the manners, the language. So that's what's been internalized within us, taking on this language, being a slave to this language, this modality of the mind in protection, as if it were real, as if it were the truth, as if love were not free. And the great good news is that love is free, and that it hasn't gone anywhere in all these aeons of hiding from it. It's still here, still open, still waiting for your yes. I give my life to the truth of love, to live this life as it will, for better or worse, for richer or poorer. Yes. Then the little petty tyrants of our mind are slain naturally because the truth is told. Not because love rises with the sword and shoo, shoo, shoo. The truth is told. So your responsibility in this is to tell the truth. The truth has been offered to you many teachers, many teachings, many times, many lifetimes. Now it is your responsibility to tell the truth. Relative, absolute. Doesn't matter, they're finally the same. They're only apparently different when you're not telling the whole truth. But as you tell more and more of the truth, there is this obvious non-duality that includes every appearance of duality with no problem, with love. What can you say?
I love you. That's why I came up for.
That's the secret saying. We think it means so many things, but it's so simple, so open, so true. So much energy and time spent not to feel that, wanting to feel that, and then so much work to not feel that because of the danger of that, possibility of the heartbreak in that. But in the utter simplicity, I love you. What freedom. We spend so much time and energy trying to get love while being protected from giving love, as if the getting of the love will take care of this ache to love. Nothing will take care of that but loving, at all risk. I used to never speak about love because the word it's somehow a cross between God and Santa Claus. So corrupted, so polluted with our desire to get something, rather than this desire to give everything. I can't speak about love anyway. But it's the answer. And all the questions are deflections from the surrender to that. Because love is God. That's true. And anytime you feel love, you're feeling God. And anytime you're trying to control love, you're trying to control God. Anytime you're protecting yourself from love, you're trying to protect yourself from God. And anytime you are surrendering to love, you're surrendering to God. And the feelings and the circumstances that follow are, well, you can line them up. There's suffering and there's freedom. And the exquisite paradox is that freedom is in surrendering to the bondage of love, to being the slave of love, the worker of love. We think freedom is being free to do what I want. That's the protection from this yoke of love to God. But of course, we've heard those words or similar words in our churches and our religions, and then we try to do it while all along remaining independent of it. So the web of control and protection of and from love is very intricate. But just like the lady who spoke yesterday about the sense of metal doors blocking the inherent light from streaming out, when examined, that web crumbles. But first there has to be the true desire to examine it. That's a surrender. And it's huge. Because our hearts have been broken. And they will be broken. And the more you surrender to love, the more your heart will be broken. It's not like your heart just gets unbroken ever and ever. No, broken more and deeper. And there will be pain. So what? If your life is about protection from pain, your life is about suffering. If your life is openness to whatever, pain or lack of pain, your life is freedom to surrender. So this simple, profound statement, I love you. This is in truth what we are saying to one another all the time, but with layers and layers and layers of conditions. I love you if I get to do what I want. I love you if you will fit my projection of my mother that she didn't fit, so if you will. I love you if you'll be a saint. I love you if you'll be a sinner. I love you if you'll play with me. I love you if you work with me. Love is free of conditions. It doesn't mean anything. It certainly doesn't mean that you keep living with your mother even though she's abusive and horrible. You may walk out the door and never see your mother again, or your lover, or your husband. But in that, the recognition and the truth-telling that the love is alive. The love doesn't go anywhere. Relationships change and end, but love is free of that. You understand that? Because this gets interpreted as love is no conditions, therefore this is what I should be doing, or what they should be doing, or what it should be looking like. It's much more simple. I love you. It's that simple. I love you. What a power is there. It's power to face anything. Even sentimentality. Anything. Heartbreak, desertion, isolation, rejection, heartbreak again. So what? I love. I, love. I love. Huh, what freedom. I love. Done.
I adopted a newborn little boy 14 months ago. It's been a dream for a long time. I'm a single mother. And life has given me what I experience as way beyond my dream in a child. And it is so delicious. And I've heard other parents say this. I feel at times like I'm in love. And when I notice that, I tell myself, don't depend on him for this buoyancy and laughter and joy. Don't depend on him. But then delicious things keep happening, and I keep falling into him.
You're falling into love deeper. And this admonition that comes up, don't depend on him, forget it.
Forget it?
Yeah. It's a way of avoiding this deep communion that is possible here.
So then something says, but he is not the source. And if you rely on him as the source, at some point...
This is the avoidance, because now you know the words about he and source. What's the separation between him and the source? How far away is he from the source?
I'm not concerned about him, I'm concerned about me.
I understand. I understand where the concern is.
The kid is so connected.
Yes. Let yourself be in love, and this connection will teach you who you are. But don't pull back on it because of knowledge or understanding. This is a blessing, blessing.
So whatever part of me it says, it's old stuff, says someday
Old
you're
stuff.
going to be hurt because of
But
this.
yes, then be hurt.
That's-
Isn't it worth it?
That is what I was saying when I think I know the answer.
Yes.
I knew what you were going to say.
Yes, you did. Of course you did. Of course you did. Yes. Yes, because the very nature of the extremely close relationships, especially parents and children, there's hurt there. So what? So what? Hurt, people act like hurt is like the end of the world. Hurt is hurt. And to the degree you are willing to be hurt, the deeper degree you're willing to love and be loved and be taught by love and be taught by the hurt. But the hurt is never teaching withdraw. Don't, just remember, he's not the source. The source is what you're in love with in him. And by some mystery, this child hasn't imagined himself as separate from the source. Why would you waste time imagining that he's separate from the source?
So there's something I'm not getting, because I'm imagining that I'm separate. I don't
forget
imagine
that.
he's separate.
I
know he's
yes,
not
but
separate.
as you fall in love with him, you say to yourself, according to what you just said here, just don't forget he's not the source. You're like afraid of being attached to his form.
Right.
Forget it.
That's what I meant by falling in. Fall in.
Totally
Fall in.
attached. This is what people would often say to me, but aren't you afraid of being too attached to Papaji's form? And it's like, finally, I found someone who knew himself to be irrevocably united with the source of all love. And I'm going to be afraid of being attached to that? It's like you want to attach to that. Was it a source of hurt? Well, somewhat. To the degree I tried to control him,
Right.
to the degree I expected him to behave in a certain way or notice me in a certain way, but to the degree I could see that my hurt was arising from my trying to control the situation rather than surrendering to the situation, then even the hurt was a teacher.
Because I'm doing that at times
Yes,
when
of
he
course.
doesn't notice me and I want him to.
Yes.
I notice.
Remember your
that
sweet mother. So, I did the same with Papaji. Remember your sweet daughter, number one girl, la la la. And he's like, whoa. Because it's sickening, you know. It has nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. It has to do with love, loving itself. Here and in this child. And what mystery brings you together, this can never be known. But what a blessing for you both.
I know.
What a celebration. So I'm just suggesting that you trust this love and not trust your mind's evaluation, even if it's the party line, the spiritual party line evaluation. Just trust the love. If it is to hurt you, let it hurt you fully. Let it annihilate you. I'm very happy for you. Very blessed, good luck life. Oh, it's so good. And yes, you're right. You knew the answer. You just needed some confirmation. And this is the answer. Isn't this the answer to your question? Yes, whether it's formulated or not. This is the answer. Are you willing to trust the love and not your mind's control of that? Really, are you? Yes. Good. Good. Then whatever mind stuff comes up is slain quickly, quicker, more quickly. And you see it and the possibility of living in love, not in control of loved one, but living in love. This is a true possibility. This is possible for everyone. Everyone. And love is the Satguru. Love is the teacher. Love, finally, if you're willing to surrender to it, rather than to try to control it, love teaches you who you are.
You're talking about desire, and the ultimate desire feels like being in love.
Uh-huh.
And the most troublemaking desire too.
Mm-hmm. What makes it troublemaking? Really? When is it trouble?
The feeling of being out of control.
Really? Now wait, let's tell the truth. Is that the trouble? Or is the desire to be in control the trouble?
Anyway.
If you're in love, you're out of control regarding your love, right? You can't stop it. You're in love. But if you try to stop it, because it's perhaps you're in love with some horrible creature. And you'd like to stop it, or this creature doesn't want to live with you, or this creature is already totally in love with another creature.
Yeah, or I can't take it home with me.
Right, I can't take it home with me. Yes, that's right. You can't. You can't. Because even if you think that you get the creature that you love, you find out it's not that at all. Because love is not a creature.
That was just coming up for me last Friday. I was thinking about this teacher I just wanted to take home with me, and this song came on the radio saying, "Sometimes all you get's the truth."
Well, the truth is love.
I mean, the song was saying something, obviously the guy didn't get what he wanted, but to me it was like, that's what it's about.
That's right. So you heard something. You took whatever the song was saying, yes, and transformed it into the truth. So what is it you love about this teacher that you wanted to take home with you?
Oh. And just one thing that of course brought me here is I've just reminded of, I just feel really in love with you.
Oh, okay, then this teacher, whatever object you're in love with at any particular time, what is it that you are loving?
Well, kind of came to me, there's two things. One is the kind of dream or the hope that the person I love will love me back.
Yeah, that's right. That's trouble.
Yeah.
Okay. But what's the other?
Is a feeling that I could somehow, of wonderful joyous freedom.
Yes.
Freedom.
That's right. That's the truth.
Freedom to be myself in that love.
So if you are, as you are, you just said it, if you tell the truth about wanting this person to love me back, and you see the trouble in that, and you just put that aside, then you're left with this joyous truth. The person may not even know your name. You may never see that person again, but somehow that person has evoked this love that is in you.
Yeah. That's the most wonderful feeling of all.
That's the most important. So then the question is, will you be true to that rather than your ideas that spin off of that, of how to get that or how to keep that or get more of that or be attractive to that, or just to be true to that? It's already been evoked. It's already here. It's already taking absurd songs on the radio and making them sutras, making them truth. So then there is because the control that you're speaking of is a mental concept. I can control this. I will make this person love me, or I hope this person will love me. Then you just aren't feeding that. You are feeding, this love is here. This love is here.
Actually, being out of control is the most beautiful thing of all.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So good to see you.
Very good to see you too. Good report. Then we can be in love without even knowing each other's name, without having to set up any kind of future understanding of what our relationship is, without having a relationship. Then our relationship is a relationship with love. This is free love, true love. It could not have been evoked without it being present. It's present. Perhaps it was hidden or overlooked or covered or veiled or denied or however you want to understand it. But the truth is, it's here. It's present. It seems that the motivating force behind everything I do and don't do is the need to be recognized, seen, acknowledged, etc. To have someone, including God, tell me that I exist. I have been looking for that acknowledgement during my whole life. It has brought only pain and suffering and alienation. You want to come up? What did he say? He's not looking really then, is he? So before I get into the next part of the letter, I would just like to ask you, have you never felt seen? Have you never felt recognized, acknowledged?
Yes, I have.
Yes, you have. So there's a lie in here. There's a very important lie that needs to be seen.
Yes.
So it's not that you're looking for. What are you looking for? Because you have received that.
It's love.
Have you ever received
Yes. Yes.
love? Okay. What do you want? What have you been looking for? What has been the real motivating force?
I don't know right now.
You might try an experiment. Just rather than looking for love to come your way, or looking for or more love to come your way, or more recognition, more acknowledgement of the truth of who you are, just as an experiment, you might try giving that.
Yes.
Yes, I suspect
Yes.
that's what you have been looking for.
I think so too. Yes. So why haven't I been doing it?
I have no idea. And there are
What?
many ideas that could float around about it, but really, who knows?
Why is
Some
it so-
ignorance, some covering, some thinking that it was the getting of more love or acknowledgement that would do it. And
Yes.
that's the mistake.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I feel it.
Absolutely. Yes, you know it. You just had to hear
Yes.
one word.
I can feel the tension, the holding back.
Yes. It's a struggle to hold back. isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, it takes effort to hold back. But to let go, to let yourself, which is love.
What comes up is if I let it go, I'm going to be smothered.
Yeah, you might be. You might drown in
And
love.
I want to say, smothered.
Yes. Like this big mother is going to come say, "Oh, honey, you finally love me." Well, so this is the dilemma then. This is the dilemma. Which will you choose? The chance of being smothered by love, or the continuation of the search for love while keeping yourself safe from love?
Yes, yes. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
That's the choice. That's the choice of freedom. And then come what may. Because love has a very ruthless quality, obviously, as well as a compassionate, friendly quality. It's a very ruthless quality. And if someone starts coming to glomp on you, it's very loving to say, "Get out of the way." Right? It's loving.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
There's something about what comes up for me is my inability to have been able to say, love me, but stay at a distance, or keep your distance, or don't invade.
Because that has to do with identifying yourself as the body. And this particular body perhaps doesn't like too much invasion, whereas other types of bodies can't get enough invasion. That's
Yes.
just body types, nervous systems, configuration, but that has to do with your body. So you can honor your body while giving away totally the love. Totally. There is an intimacy that absolutely does not involve the body. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, well, good. Good.
Yes,
Thank you.
I feel
And
it.
what an arena you have. Yes. You see, then that in itself is the recognition that was being waited for. That permission. As we have all kinds of ideas of the entanglement of love, but that's not love. That's dependent relationship. Love is not what we know as love. It's what we are as love. Is that yes? That yes. It's a courageous step. But once it is made, it is simply the ease of being.
I have had a contemplation in this place of holding what you have expressed in the now. And my contemplation is, what is the appropriate use of mind in the art of living?
Ah, good. What did you discover? Or what are you discovering?
Well, as you talked about the dance of Leela, it seems to be that that is the ongoing process, that there's no end to the interweaving of when mind would want to think and then take me away from being and stay conscious.
Well,
and yet I drove in a car to get here, so there's a role of the mind.
But very easily, right? Your mind has learned how to drive a car, so you don't have to drive the car thinking, I'm driving the car, you just drove the car.
Yeah.
Naturally, because that's also the beauty of mind, that what can be learned can be used. Just like language, just like life experience, just like history, can be used. What is it used in service of?
Excuse me?
What is your life experience, your intellect, your learning? What is all of that used in service of? That's the question.
Well, love.
Oh, well, very lucky. Very lucky. Because it's not always used in service of love, as we know.
No.
I mean, all we have to do is look around in our own minds and in the collective mind, and we see it's rarely used in service of love. That you can say in love, this is not a casual declaration.
No.
No.
It feels freeing.
It is freeing and more. It's what freeing gives rise to, the choice for your mind, for your life, for your intellect, for your capabilities to be used in service of love.
Is there more? Anything else?
Have you found all of love?
No. Oh no.
When you find all of love, then we can have a conversation about this. Of course, you can find all of kind of what we call love, which is lust. That also has a beginning, a middle, and an end.
It certainly does.
Yes, but love in its deepest meaning, the love that you can't find any beginning to, or any middle to, or any end, that you can't find any boundary to. This force, this presence that is sometimes called God or truth, is love.
What is it that is compelling so that the moment lasts and mind is not an interference to that moment, but a complement?
Realization. Waking up. Telling the truth.
Just more of that in the practice of that?
More of that. Well, probably less of that is what I think. But I'm not quite sure what you mean, more of that.
Well,
not more of that necessarily in experience, but there is the possibility of a finality, as you just said, that my mind, my life, my experience, my learnings, past, present, and future, are used in the service of love, period. And then every challenge that comes to defeat that is met with this, yes, kill me if you must, but this is the way it is. This is the way this life is going. And recognizing, aha, in that moment I was in service to my mind. Very good to see that. Now that in itself will be used in service to love. So then this is an inner and outer. I don't like the word practice because I think it's a bad translation of something else. Inner and outer living, direct living. So that more important than your estimation of yourself, low or high, is your dedication of yourself. Doesn't mean that the estimates won't keep coming. That's part of this play. That's part of the match. But how is it used? That's what your contemplation was asking, wasn't it? How is it used? How is mind used? How is your attention used? It will be here a short time. In this room, 1 hour, a little over an hour. In this world, at this time, 90, 100 years, if the research works, 120 years. It's nothing. You talk to someone who's 80, and they will tell you 80 years is nothing. It's a blink of an eye. 90 years, still nothing. How is it used? This is a great question. It's a true contemplation. And the leap of your answer, that's the very nature of your coming forward.
It's so freeing and so beautiful to just be in love here.
Yes.
And quiet.
Yes. Yes. And you know what? It gives to the whole universe. Just that quiet, that simple being in love here. And show them what I'm seeing. Can you feel it? Yes. And you know how you can feel it? Because it's inside you. Is a reflection now of what's inside you. This invitation to live your life in service to love. It is my great joy and honor to confirm you, who you are, not who you think you are, which is arising and disappearing from and into reality. Who you are is reality. And this is radiant, joyful, unspeakable, mysterious love. Reality is love. Not physical love, not emotional love, not mental love, not sentimental love, although all of those are thoughts of love. So, metaphors for love, representation of love. That which is unthought, unknowable, and yet realizable as your own self is already here as you. Nothing you have to learn for that. Nothing you have to do for that. Only for one instant, stop learning, stop doing, and see for yourself. You are here. You are free. You are peace itself. And even those words are poor representations, metaphors for the truth of who you are. So don't try to be peace. Don't try to be love. Just be. And you are. You already are. You don't have to try to be. This love is not the property of the saints. It's free. It can't be bought or sold or won or lost. It's who you are.